Hello and welcome to the Northern US Grand Prix here in Loudon. On pole for today for the 5th time in a row is Martin McFry for Foxdale, our winner last time out in Brno. Alongside of him is Takuma Taki for Racing Point. On row 2 we find BVN starting in the second of the two racing points, with Edvard Holm for Simpsons starting 4th. Right behind him is his teammate, Ebbe Kickert, and then it's the two March 16 starting 6th and 7th, Gary Pacer and Jesus Castel. 8th on the grid is Nathaniel Cameron for Jones, with Akira Yamamura and James Wilmington making up row 5. Yamamura for Block Monster, Wilmington, the winner at Norris Ring, driving for TBA. There's a disappointing qualifying effort from Benoit Vauclair in the second Foxdale. He will start back in 11th, next to the big surprise in qualifying, Philippe Nicolas for Holiday in the underpowered V8, out-qualifying all of the W12s and several I3s in the process. Very, very impressive performance from him. We'll have to see if he can translate it to a good run in the race. Behind him is the 2020 Formula 1 World Drivers' Champion Diego Alvarez Torrente for Jones, and John Bean for Block Monster. On row 8 we find Monica Flatter for TBA, and Anu Voisu in the first of the W12s driving for Scuderia Adriatica. The winner, of course, at Monaco. Her teammate is starting right behind her in 17th, Carmen Alvarez Torrente. And then it's Kinana Dalu of the first of the Euromotors, starting 18th. Naoki Shinjo with a good qualifying effort of his own. He will start 19th, next to our points leader and winner from Nürburgring, Klon. On row 11 is Tomo Kazuma for Mecca and Alexis Tantovic in the second of the Euromotors. Quite a disappointing qualifying session for him, starting way back in 22nd. We'll have to see if he can make it up in the race. On row 12 are the two checkmate entries, Václav Mausch and Andrzej Kremnici. And rounding out the grid, we have Pierre Saint-Laurent and Humbert Moyamoudier. So with the grid rundown, we are movements away from the start of the race. And our gigantic flagman, I'm not sure why he's so huge. Might be a bit of a perspective thing there. And they're off, and it's a good start from Taki. He takes the lead into turn 1 from McFry. That's Holm into second, McFry back to third off the start. And back to 4th as BVN surges through into 3rd. So at the end of lap 1 we have Taki leading from home. BVN 3rd, McFry 4th, and Gary Pacer in 5th. It looks like it was not such a great start from Philippe Nicolas. He has dropped back to 17th off the start, as we now see Pacer making his way past McFry into 4th. That's quite a poor start from our pole sitter. He might be carrying a little bit more fuel. But up front, it looks like Holm is having a look into the inside of Taki for the lead. Not able to make it move stick into turn 3 though. And now BVN is looking to make it a 1-2 for Racing Point. Again, just can't hold the grip on the inside of that corner there. And again into turn 3, but BVN looking quite racy in these early laps. Emma Kicker is now up to 5th, passing McFry, who now is looking under threat from Akira Yamamura in the Block Monster. Able to pull off a couple of defensive efforts there to hold on to 6th so far, but he's quickly losing ground to the leaders in front of him. Taki now pulling well away from Holm, who seems to have had a bit of a trouble there. Lost a bit of ground there, must have been trying to defend from BVN, who's now himself under attack from Pacer. Yamamura making the move on McFry into 6th. Oh, and Pierre Saint-Laurent is in trouble. It's a puncture. A puncture on the Kahama. And that was a very... Sorry.
Good Ride have zero experience with oval racing. It seems like their tires are going to be struggling today.
It's quite possible, as McFry now seems to be coming back at Yamamura for 6th. But that is indeed an early retirement for Pierre Saint-Laurent, who's one of the frontrunners in the championship, and that's Emma Kickert making it into 4th. Almost taken a second out of Taki since the last time I checked that, as the laps are, of course, ticking down quite quickly here around this 1 mile circuit. Yamamura and McFry now under attack from Cameron, Castell, and Benoit Vauclair in the second of the Foxtails.
Unfortunately, it seems like the VA heroics did not translate to race pace, as we now have all 4 of them back at the field.
Yes, indeed. It's quite difficult to. I mean, when one lap is one thing, but maintaining race pace over a full 100 laps is quite a different story, and we're seeing that in the race here. Although, to be fair, Nikolai's not that far behind the rear ends of the W12s here, Malsh and Lon. As that's contact there between the Euromotors. Tantovic defending hard from Kinan or Dalu. I'm not sure exactly how Tantovic got ahead of his teammate off the start there. Either way, it seems like the Euromotors' lack of grip in the corners here is again causing a massive train of cars behind them. All of the W12s, and indeed that's Dalu now making the move on Tantovic. It's, yeah, the V8's not that far behind either. Depending on pit strategy, this could turn out to be quite a disastrous race for the Euromoto team. Right now it's, yeah, Andre Kremnici leading the W12s for now. But that could change quite quickly, as we saw in Brno. As already Takuma Taki has started lapping cars. Home still in hot pursuit. BVN still 3rd. Kickert 4th. Pacer 5th. Yamamura at 6th. Cameron has passed McFry into 7th. Although, again, McFry taking a look to the inside of the Jones there. Can't get the straight line speed out of the... can't get the straight line speed out of the corners to really make a good run. Though... It seems that John Bean has gotten past Vauclair for 10th. Meanwhile, Torrente seems to be struggling quite a bit on the oval here. I would have expected him to make some forward progress, but he is still exactly where he started in 13th. As Yamamura has now put in the fastest lap. Yeah, that's, that... I noticed it. Oh, and that's McFry making a move back around Cameron for 7th. Might be a setup issue for Jones here, in fact. Oh, and McFry is slowing. That's because it's Alexis Tantovic has... The suspension has collapsed on the Euromotor. So much for the Tantovic train in this one. That will allow the W12s to fight a lot more freely. Oh, and we've had a change for the lead as well. That's Edvard home. Yes, Taki got held up there behind Torrente. Negotiating lap traffic is going to be absolutely critical to maintaining a good chance at the win. Home there, putting his sports car experience to good use there. Ooh, and that was Voizu there, squeezing home very, very much out of turn 4. Is there a problem on On the Adriatica, doesn't seem to be. Taki now coming back at home, trying to retake that lead as home now held up behind one of the checkmates, that's Kremnichi.
This also allowed BVN back in the game.
Indeed, BVN getting through these lap W12s as a result of them obviously now aware that the leaders are taking advantage of the fact that they're now aware of the fact that the leaders are lapping them. But for now, home seems to have a few car lengths over Taki at the frontier, as we are quickly approaching the first pit stops, I should think. Actually, hold on, I might have messed up the pit stop strategies here. I'm not sure. I thought they would have been saved, but I guess not. Oh well. We'll just have to see how that happens. Taki reclaiming fastest lap on that previous lap, and is now attacking home for the lead as they come up to lap the sole remaining Euromotor of Kinana Dalu. And again, Taki there held up behind the held up in traffic, home making hay in the as they are now catching up to the and the transmission has gone for the Block Monster of Akira Yamamura. After scoring the first points for Block Monster in the previous timeout in Brno, that will be it for.
And we got a car in the pit.
Yes, indeed, that's a car in the pits. Who is that? That is Andrei Kremnichi for checkmate. Looks like Kremnichi on a 2-stop as now we see a lot of cars pitting. That's Taki. And some other cars, which I would like to see, but yeah, it's Kickert and Pacer. So a few of the leaders now pitting here. Up front, though, it's still Edvard Holm leading. Now having lapped the TBA of Monica Flatter. BVN right there in hot pursuit, though. Several cars pitting. It's Malsh and Shinjo as well. Nathaniel Cameron now pitting. Had inherited third position after the sequence of pit stops, but now he makes his first pit stop of the race. John Bean way out of shape there in turn 2. And that's, the leaders are now pitting, Edvard Holm and BVN. BVN there held up as Holm was coming into his pit box there. As John Bean also pitting.
Gonna have to find out where Taki fits into all this. This is a very crucial moment, to say the very least.
Cameron now exiting the pits. There goes the 2 TBAs. Or Dalu. Holm now exiting the pit. And Takuma Taki has used that pit strategy to great effect. And he's now in the net lead of the race. Currently, we have Moutier and Klon pitting, but right now our leader is Martin McFry by about 4 seconds over Jesus Castel. It looks like McFry may be going a little bit long on fuel here. That's BVN has actually just passed to Edvard Holm, which is a Oh, and that's because Edvard Holm has an oil leak on the Simpson. Oh, that's a big shame. He was having a great run here in the early going, but already out of the race is Edvard Holm. That's a big shame. He had a good chance to win at this, but that's all gone up in smoke. Oh, and Cosma there got badly held up by the slowing Simpson of Holm. Taki has a good lead over his teammate BVN at this point. BVN with a few laps younger tires, but I'm not sure if that will make much of a difference in his attempts to catch up to his teammate. Right now, Martin McFry has a good lead over Jesus Castell. Not quite a full lap ahead of the likes of Taki, BVN, or Kicker, though. Also, it seems that in the midst of all the pit stops, Diego Ferris Turrente, and that's an Adriatic in trouble in the infield. That is... Ooh, gosh, I can't... Anu Voizu's engine has gone. Oh, that's a shame for her. We now have James Wilmington pitting with a puncture. He was scheduled to pit quite soon, though. Seems to be a one-stop strategy for the TVA here. Now we have Emma Kicker. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop. Oh no, that's not Kicker, that's Ardalu. My mistakes. Alright. And now Torrente and Boucle pitting. All these cars seem to be on one-stops currently. And Monica Flatter is out of the race. That is the, one of the TBAs. Ooh. Can't quite see what's the problem with her. Transmission issue for Monica Flatter and TBA. Her nightmare season continues. Despite all the pace she's shown, she's just had no luck in finishing these races. Now Jesus Castell pits from second place. Again, we will expect this to be a one-stop strategy for Castell. Now only 3 cars are left to pit. Make that 2 as the leader. Martin McFry now makes his way into the pits. It seems that, in fact, that is it for the pit stops. And that hands the lead right back to Takuba Taki. Now, I thought it was going to be a full lap ahead of McFry, but no, not quite.
No, McFry's pace at the end of his stint was really good. He's low-key put himself in a position to win this race in the end.
Yes, quite slow off the start was McFry, but that does seem to have been an effect of the extra fuel he would have been carrying. But we'll just have to see exactly how the two-stop strategy plays out here. I think the one-stop might be the more preferred strategy, as we see... I think that is a pass for position here. John Bean battling side-by-side with Nathaniel Cameron. Cameron doing a great job maintaining the pace out of the corner there, but just couldn't hold the car on the outside line heading into turn 1. Bean up to 6th place now. And indeed, I think the two-stop strategy might not be the way to go here is... Oh, and that's a... Ooh, that's a... So that's the slowing Emma Kickert with a transmission problem on the Simpson. I'm not exactly sure what happens here. Oh, that's Humbert, Moy, and Moutier. And that's one of the Foxtails involved there. That's Martin McFry. Somehow, that Foxtail seems to be completely undamaged, although he's taking a very strange line into turn 1 there. But that's Humbert, Moy, and Moutier now out of the race. And Takuma Taki has lost the lead to BVN. It's all happening here at Loudon. Ooh, yes, that looks like there was a, yeah, that's Taki there. No, Taki still has the lead. I'm not entirely sure what. That must have just been a timing and scoring error. As seems to happen sometimes. And yes, Emma Kickert is out of the race following that transmission issue. We'll have to take a look at the replay on that one, because that seemed to be a very dangerous move there by Moy Moutier. Kickert was very obviously slowing on the inside of the track, but Moy Moutier just seemed to drive right into her. Not sure exactly what he was trying to do. I mean, yes, she was on the inside, but, like, at the same time, she's obviously slow. Like, you could just drive around the outside of her. There are 2 grooves at this track. Regardless, the racing points are coming to starting to close in on each other. That's BVN closing in on Taki, as Taki now in lap traffic there, lapping past Jesus Castel. Meanwhile, in a bit of a lonely third, we have Gary Pacer, and oh no, not for much longer.
That's what we call it, Jinx.
The pace of Gary Pacer was too much for the Ford in the back of that March 16, and it does seem that Gary Pacer's race will be not much longer.
So he is trying. He's trying
to make it so as far enough to be classified, but the amount of smoke coming out of the back of that engine, I can't imagine it's going to last much longer at all. And indeed,
there it is.
It's had enough. Taki now pulling away from his teammate a little bit there on the previous couple of laps. I think if anybody thought that the intra-team battle between Taki and BVM would be very one-sided in favor of the 2019 champion, Taki is doing everything to prove you wrong. He's been very quick so far this season, and again, it's just been ill luck that he hasn't been able to finish these races. Well, that was a nice move there by Malsh on the inside of Klon, entering the first corner there. Vuclay and ARWS Torrente now battling for 7th, as John Bean makes his second pit stop for Block Monster. And now Takuma Taki makes his second and final pit stop. That will hand the lead right to BVN.
Hello.
Hello.
So,
That's Nathaniel Cameron now making his second pit stop.
welcome to the Auto Rejects World Series.
Indeed. BVN now pitting from the lead. That should hand it to Martin McFry, who doesn't need to pit again. After waiting so long for his first win, could we see Martin McFry win 2 races on the bounce? That'd be quite a turn up if he was able to after waiting practically a decade for that first win.
And it certainly would have put him in the championship conversation.
Definitely. He's definitely he's definitely had the qualifying pace, having been our only pole sitter to date so far in the season. He's now currently 9 seconds ahead of Takuma Taki in the racing point. Taki now on those fresh tires. It's with about 30 laps to go. Will he have enough to make it to the to catch up to that leading Foxtail? There's a lot of traffic between those two cars, mind. BVN now making the move on Castell for 3rd place. As we see our championship leader in the pits, Klon. And that's Václav Welsh also in the pits. Taki seemed to have been held up in traffic a little bit on that lap. Lost 3/10 to McFry there. It's not the fact. It's not just the fact that Takuma Taki is battling for the win. It's the fact that he is beating his teammate, who won basically everything there was to win in 2019 and the back half of 2018. I'm just astounded that Taki is having this kind of a race instead of his teammate. Still seeing ARWS Torrente and Benoit Vuclay battling for 5th place here. Vuclay still just doesn't seem to be able to get the straight line speed to get a good run at the Jones, who's holding him off quite well so far, despite his lack of pace in the early stages of the race. Taki now within 7 seconds of the lead. I don't think he's catching nearly quick enough to threaten McFry for this race win.
Number 1 has passed number 2 in the championship as Loudon just went by Nicolas, thanks to the engine power difference.
Indeed, and Vuclay seems to have gotten past Torrente. Is there an issue for Diego ARWS Torrente? Indeed there is. There's a puncture on the Jones. Oh, goodness. This has just been an absolute disaster for Sammy Jones and Shakuto's squad. Ooh, and Torrente keeping it on the racing line there. Oh, that's almost disaster there in turn 1. Fortunately, all the cars were able to see him in time and avoid a repeat of what happened. Now BVN has an issue! It's an engine issue! The Koenigsegg has called time on BVN's race. But we're not that far away from the point where you could get classified for finishing. So, even if you retire from the race. Although already it does seem that BVN's losing a lot of pace. I'm not sure he'll be able to make it to the finish. Yeah, that's it. He pulls off to the infield, and BVN, once again, will not finish a race in 2023. It's what a difference his fortunes have been since the last time we had a full season in 2019, where, again, as I said previously, he won practically everything there was to win. This promotes Jesus Castel back onto the podium. Benoit Veuclair now 4th. Despite not really having much in the way of pace in this race, and he's not far from being lapped by his teammate either. That's but still, a 4th place finish is nothing to sniff at when you're Benoit Veuclair. And Veuclair does not make it difficult at all for his teammate. Good teamwork there from the Foxdale team. As we now are within 10 laps to go. Can Martin McFly hold on for this race win? It doesn't seem that Taki has any pace at all left to challenge the our race leader currently. Now, is that Carmen Alvarez Torrente looking to lap K1?
It very much is.
Again, Torrente has been having a fantastic race in this one, very much showing that she's definitely worthy of being compared to her world champion brother. Again, at the lead of the W12 contingent, currently in 9th place. Nicola leading the V8s. Again, not really able to back up that excellent qualifying performance, but still well ahead of his competitors in the V8s. The mecha duo now of Cosmo and Shinjo. Now it's, of course, Moimudi retired in that crash. Taki seems to have found a little bit more pace, but again, 6 seconds back with less than 5 laps to go. And Václav Aleš is pinning with just a few laps to go with a loose wheel. And Jesus Castel is slowing with a transmission issue. This is going to promote Benoit Veuclair onto the podium. Castel will at least be classified in this race, but that'll be a very big disappointment for the Spaniard, who could definitely have used a good result, but will not get the one that he was probably thinking he was going to get.
Sad.
Indeed, that's quite sad for him.
We only have 2 people on the lead lap right now, McFry and Taki.
Yes, it's been it turned out to be quite a dominant performance between McFry and Taki. Oh, and there's a Euromotor in the wall. That's Kenan Ardalu again with a puncture. Again, the tires taking a beating around this track with the high speeds and limited
It's
ranking.
noble. But, oh, God, someone got rear.
Yeah, I think that was James Wilmington.
Clearly having no patience to tell you that you were going to get the bleep out of the way.
Indeed, but he just accelerated right into the back of Ardalu. I'm not entirely sure what he was thinking was going to happen, but that is... Well, that allows Benoit Vauclair back onto the lead lap as Martin McFly wins. Taki now finishes a brilliant second and guaranteed third place.
Vauclair manages to unlap himself and is the last person to finish on the lead lap.
Indeed. Which is at the start of the season, I don't think anybody would have predicted a Benoit Vauclair podium. And Torrente retired on the last lap? Oh goodness, she retired on the last lap! Oh, and that has dropped her from what would have been 7th place back to 11th. Oh, that's a big shame for Carmen Alvarez Torrente.
That's tragic.
Yes, it is, and quite a lot of retirements late in this race. We'll have to go through the running order to make sure that everybody finished where we thought they would. So that was, of course, a brilliant win from Martin McFly, despite the. It was only 2 seconds over Taki at the end of it because of the late incidents with cars retiring and crashing and whatnot. I think it was he got held up behind Wilmington, who crashed into the back of Ardalu. But Taki not able in the end to deny McFry his second win in a row. And Benoit Vauclair making it a double podium for Foxtail, which I believe is the first time they've ever had a double podium. John Bean with Black Monster's second 4th place finish in a row. That will be quite heartening for them, as Nathaniel Cameron finally gets a Jones to the finish. It's their first finish of the season.
And with that, all 13 teams have scored points this season.
Yes, they have. James Wilmington finishing off in 6th despite trying to demolish the front end of his car. Again, I'm not sure what he was thinking in that incident. We'll have to have a post-race review of a couple of these incidents. They're quite dangerous, a couple of them.
Especially that rear end.
Yes.
Especially what Ardalu had to go through. Like, what the fuck happened there?
Yeah, so
somebody was, to my eyes, somebody was asleep at the wheel.
Absolutely, it's very similar to the incident between Moya Moutier and Emma Kickert earlier in the race, which again happened right in front of Martin McFly. So he almost got swept up in 2 different crashes and still won the race. Andrei Kremnici leading the W12 Brigade home. He finishes in 7th, just ahead of our points leader Klon, who I think should still hold on to the championship lead following this. Jesus Castel looked like he had a 3rd place finish, his first finish on the cards, and he winds up retired from the race 4 laps down, but still classified in 9th, so he gets something from this race at least. Dalu also rounding out the top 10 there for Euro Motor. Carmen Alvarez Torrente, after another dominant performance in the W12's class, such as it is, and yet she winds up with 11th place with some sort of issue on her car as well. Philippe Nicolas picks up a 12th place finish, with Kazaba beating Shinjo home for 13th, and Václav finishing off 15th following that the loose wheel late in the race. And it does seem that we had a fairly reliable race as far as this season has gone, with only about 11 cars not classified. We had maybe about 13 in total retired, but BVN and Diego Alvarez Torrente, I think they would have. I think most people would have expected those two to be fighting for the championship, but here we are after race 6, and they still have not actually finished a race or even been classified. In fact, at this point, Torrente won't even have had a point, I don't think.
And he's the last driver for whom that applies after today's.
But Racing Point do at least get the their share of the fastest lap points, with Taki taking on the fastest lap and BVN the second fastest lap, and Akira Yamamura picking up the third fastest lap. So I think this is the first time this season that we haven't seen a Foxtail in the top 3 on the speed charts.
Shout out to Vozu with the 12th fastest lap.
Yes, that's incredibly impressive for her. Faster than John Bean in the Block Monster, both of the TBAs, and both of the Euromotors, who in fact were only 21st and 22nd fastest, almost a full second off the fastest lap. And with that, I think we'll call our race broadcast here, and we'll catch you the next time at Brands Hatch.